Happy Good Friday, punters. Hope Easter goes well. Righto, we're going to try a trifecta in the Doncaster. Again, my approach is, I don't take a lotto ticket, so my equivalent is to try and use your brains, get a trifecta or a quaddie. You're not going to have the potential upside of a lotto win, but you're a chance of winning, aren't you? Well, a reasonable chance of winning. So the Doncaster it is. Taken a couple of 6-box trifectas past 2 weeks. Operations have been a success. The patient have died. So in other words, I like having a couple of themes, starting point premises, and then work within that frame. By the way, last week my 6-box became a 5-box when one of the horses was scratched. And $60 outlay, I get back 30. So I've done a $15 donation to Equine Pathways Australia. And again, if I get the trifecta tomorrow, half to me, half to Equine Pathways Australia, for a bit of interest and karma bus work. So my 2 themes for the Doncaster are She's Our Alibi and Autumn Boy, absolutely entitled to be the favourites they are. In fact, She's Our Alibi at $2, rock bottom, only because I think Autumn Boy's going to come in from the $7. But the Whirlpool's in play, the robots will probably smash both. Will they risk She's Our Alibi because she's a filly and historically they haven't got great records in the Doncaster? Well, I might give you a price if they do. Because here's the starting point. If She's Our Alibi repeats her round with Guineas win, nothing else can beat her on exposed form, and maybe only Autumn Boy jumping to a new career PB can. That's a pretty good start. She might be a superstar, She's Our Alibi. Now, she probably won't be, because most horses aren't. She's clearly already a very, very good horse. And we haven't got a ceiling on her yet. Her 2 spring wins, she exploded out of pockets at Flemington and Caulfield. Her first up in a Caulfield, she also had to get out of a pocket, but this was a faster race than the 2 in the spring. And as Maddie Hill brilliantly called, she had to take a deep breath in, and Zach Spain took a brave run. And that set her up to explode in the Randwick Guineas. Now, 4 weeks between runs should be perfect. Peter Moody knows what he's doing with a big race. Horse, she has to go backwards to be vulnerable to a top 2 position. I'll use that as a premise. Has to go backwards to be vulnerable to a top 2 position. And again, I say she'll almost certainly win if she repeats that performance. Horses usually do repeat a performance unless it's a brutally run race or they've already peaked a couple of times. This horse's peak is common. 3 peaks is different. So who could explode to beat her? I think only Autumn Boy. Now, She's Our Alibi towered up Autumn Boy in the Randwick Guineas. But I said this on this little YouTube clip. I was really keen on She's Our Alibi. I just had a feeling that Autumn Boy might have been half a run short. Now, in a brutally run race, you don't want to be half a run short, and it was. High pressure, quality Randwick Guineas. That then brought him on, and then last up, a jiggy jog in the Rosehill Guineas. They just walked over 2,000 on soft going. So it's one, it will take nothing out of him, and it will bring him on, as will the blinkers. I love saying grand finals are won by horses that are sole focused when trainers, particularly good trainers, in this case a great trainer, puts a big circle around a date and says, this is your peak. I've got, well, without knowing, but observing, I think Autumn Boy, this is its grand final, even though it's ran second and around with Guineas, a Group 1, and won a Rosehill Guineas, a Group 1. I think this is the big grand final day. And so for that reason, given 3-year-olds colts have such a good record in the race too, and the Whirlpool's in play, got a feeling the $7 is probably as good as it'll be. Now, Autumn Boy inside draw could have no luck. She's Our Alibi, wide draw could have no luck. So I'm taking 4 others in the box trifecta, but this week I'm not taking 50%, I'm taking it for 25%. I'll explain why in a sec. So in other words, a $30 outlay. The 4 horses all come from Autumn Glow, the superstar. She is a superstar already. Performance in the Rider 2 weeks ago. Their finishing positions were 3, 5, 7, 9. Double white line, morning sun coming up in the morning light. If you know, you know. Google Tom Robinson Band, kids. Third was Pericles. It was wide, it was super in the futurity. Second prep with Bjorn Baker, might be going as well as ever. If you look at his raw 1600 stats, 6 starts, no wins, and you think he can't run a mile, you've got no idea. Once was beating an eyelash in the Champions Mile to Chiala Wolf, beating a couple of lengths to Chiala Wolf in the King Charles, ran a place to Autumn Glow in the Epsom, ran a place in the Doncaster 2 years ago. He can run a mile. With Craig Williams on, wide jaw, probably ideal. He goes forward, finds a spot. He'll run very well. Fifth to Autumn Glow was Headley Grange. Now Headley Grange, I think he fits that criteria of, from the time he walked in the barn, Joe Pride said, right, Doncaster's your race. Very good first up in the Canterbury Stakes, which is the one by Jolly Star, which is TJ Smith form for tomorrow. And then a bit of a sideways run, that's fine. That's what you want to see before the grand final peak. So he ran 5th. Last spring was super, beating up Gringotts at Rose Hill, and then a similar price to him in the big dance, but it was an end of prep miss. He had a deep prep this time, 3rd up peak. Lovely. I wouldn't be risking it if you're taking multis. 7th was Linebacker, ditto. The time he entered the stable, this is his grand final. He won last year's, ran with guineas in super time. Now, not as super as She's Alibi, but it was still very good. First up, very good run, again behind Jolly Star. And last start, the sideways run to peak tomorrow. Don't leave it out. And 9th, you say why would include it, was Evaporate. Evaporate was flat as a Tish Carter's hat after running in the All-Star Mile, running very well in the All-Star Mile. He won this meeting last year in the Carbine Club. No second in the Toorak, ran a place to Autumn Glow in the Golden Eagle. He is a very, very good miler, and he should rebound hard for Zach Purden around $20. So they're the 4 to round off my box trifecta. So with Autumn Boy and She's Alibi, we've got Pericles, Headley Grange, Linebacker, and Evaporate. And in a key box trifecta, which I'll outlay $15 twice, I'm going to have 7 horses. 7 horses. Yes, adding Gringotts to run a place, and a Bolter's Odds end cap, who also ran very well first up, who's also set for this race, and ran a place in last year's Doncaster. He's 70 to 1. So he's going to be my key box trifecta with either Autumn Boy or She's Alibi to win. So that rounds it off. If the key box trifecta gets up, it's at least 35%, but if it's the ones we had in the box trifecta, 57%, and the box trifecta, if it gets up, it'll be 25%. If it gets up without She's Alibi or Autumn Boy winning, it'll be paying a bit. Anyway, gamble responsibly. It's Sunday. Go D's.